Stranger Things 4 is all set to release, and fans have been combing through plenty of predictions and theories about Netflix's popular sci-fi series. Right from Eleven's fate to the real meaning behind those cryptic new teasers, there's a whole lot of exciting stuff out there to be explored. Let's check out more about Stranger Things Season 4 theories, 5 predictions for Netflix's sci-fi series. Number 6. Hopper time traveled. Think about it. Hopper's death was never portrayed on screen, so it's possible that he ended up in the Upside Down and emerged in a different time period at the end of Season 3. Netflix has since released new clips from the 50s era, including a Season 4 teaser that shows a newspaper printed March 1959. But that's not the only hint that relates to time travel. Fans have even pointed out that the classic Back to the Future was referenced in Season 3. Remember when Dustin and his pals snuck into a packed theater during the movie's premiere? Plus, Hopper mentioned wanting to turn back the clock in his emotional letter to Eleven. So it's possible these scenes told us a whole lot more than we realized at the time. And based on the release clippings, it may seem that Stranger Things Season 4 could well be lining up for a time travel storyline. The final trailer opens with a slow zoom on the Creel House grandfather clock, and it appears again just a minute later when Max finds it embedded in a cracked wall as if it had been displaced in time. A popular fan theory suggests that the Upside Down is a post-apocalyptic future Hawkins, which would mean that the characters have been traveling through time since Season 1. Time travel has been overdone, but this makes it the most natural step for Stranger Things Season 4, given the show's eagerness to pay homage. Number 5. Dr. Brenner is still alive. The trailer for the upcoming 4th season reintroduced Dr. Brenner's role in Eleven's upbringing, and theories on how he will return to the series. Fans have proposed many theories on what happened to him after his last real appearance in Season 1, and the new teaser suggests he'll be coming back for more than just a flashback in Season 4. Eleven and her surviving siblings, as indicated by 8's vengeance in Season 2, aren't finished with Dr. Brenner, so the next season will likely focus on resolving their tortured childhoods. Maybe there's a way they are all connected. Maybe there's a way their collective trauma could have created something like the Upside Down and the breach between dimensions. Dr. Martin Brenner had masterminded the controversial Project MK Ultra at Hawkins' lab and indirectly led Eleven to release the Demogorgon while spying on a Russian agent. As the children were stripped from their families and identities, Brenner was their father figure while exploiting and traumatizing the young kids for scientific gain. In fact, one of the focuses on Season 4 could be that these people with powers are now being tracked down by Brenner and some other organization, or even the US government. There's something to the Plinko-style board with the numbers covered in the teaser. Could it mean that those people have been captured and the rest must band together to survive? Number 4. Eleven will regain her powers. At the end of Season 3, Eleven lost her powers after an epic confrontation with the Mind Flayer, which left her seriously wounded. However, in the recently released Season 4 trailer, Eleven's powers are teased in several quick flashes, alluding to how her powers might return in the upcoming season. About midway through the Stranger Things Season 4 trailer, there's a quick sequence in which Eleven is told that, "Without you, we can't win this war," followed by her being taken away in a truck and later experimented on. As Eleven's powers originally manifested after a series of brutal experimentations performed on her as a young girl, it's possible that she voluntarily agrees to undergo similar experimentation in order to once again harness her telekinetic gifts. Not to mention, Eleven has always been a character that's fiercely loyal to her friends, most of all Mike. As their relationship has flourished into something more than just friends, it would make sense that Eleven might undergo further experimentation in order to protect her loved ones from the threats looming over Hawkins. As alluded to in the trailer, without Eleven's powers, which she explains are absent, the town of Hawkins might not be able to face what's coming for them. With the stakes for the penultimate volume of Stranger Things getting bigger and bigger, this type of choice would make perfect sense for the character. Number 3. Will's mystical powers. Will's adventures in Stranger Things Upside Down might have granted him powers. It's clear that Eleven has special powers thanks to Hawkins' lab's dicey experiments, and it's not unlikely that Stranger Things will soon reveal there's something special about Hopper too, since he survived certain death at the end of Season 3. The series has shown that Will was more capable of handling the Mind Flayer's psychological torture than teen bully Billy, who quickly succumbed to its control, despite attempting to resist the voices invading his head. This could mean that Will possesses powers under the surface that could feature in Stranger Things Season 4. It's quite possible the Demogorgon was just hungry, and the Mind Flayer sought him out because he'd already been to the Upside Down. But this being Stranger Things, a conspiracy seems more likely. With Billy being older and theoretically more mature than Will, it seems unlikely the young teen would be better equipped to take on the Mind Flayer than the older villain Billy. Yet Will was able to survive encounters with both the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer relatively unscathed. That's a feat that even Eleven herself struggled to pull off, so the possibility that Will possesses some form of powers similar to those boasted by Eleven would make sense of how he survived and why both monsters sought to control his mind. Number 2. Coinciding with Chernobyl Disaster. One of the very popular predictions doing the rounds on the internet is that Season 4 could tie in with one of the biggest tragedies in world history, the Chernobyl Disaster. Fans have pointed to the show's timeline pattern to predict when the next season will take place. Season 1 was set in the winter of 1983, while Season 2 was in the fall of 1984. Season 3 was in the summer of 1985. This has led many viewers to believe the upcoming season will take place in spring of 1986, which is when the nuclear disaster occurred. The prediction suggests the deadly Chernobyl accident will be portrayed as a cover-up for some kind of supernatural disaster. If the authorities are trying to conceal any activity related to the Upside Down and Eleven's powers, it could mean that in the world of Stranger Things, Chernobyl never really happened. Perhaps the nuclear disaster will be used as a cover-up for a big showdown that takes place in Russia in Season 4. It would certainly be a bold move, but considering the timeline of the series, it's likely that the Chernobyl disaster could be tied into the Upside Down experiments, either as an unfortunate consequence or as a cover-up to divert everyone's attention. Though this twist fits with the series' timeline, many fans are concerned it could downplay the severity of the real-life tragedy. Number 1. The Creel House. The third teaser for Season 4 seemingly opens in the 1950s, with a typical nuclear family moving into a mansion somewhere in Hawkins. But this picture-perfect scene quickly devolves as the family starts noticing the same flickering lights that the Byers family did back in Season 1. This can only mean one thing: the inhabitants of the Upside Down are trying to break through. Later in the trailer, our suspicions are confirmed as we see the clock in the attic transformed into its counterpart from the other dimension. We also saw newspaper clippings hinting at a tragedy in the Creel House where a father killed his entire family. He claimed to have been possessed and was subsequently put into a mental asylum. We know that the Duffer Brothers have been heavily influenced by Stephen King, so could this story be a nod to The Shining? If so, the name of the moving company at the start of the Creel House trailer, Mayflower, could be a reference to the European colonization of Native American lands, a theme that also runs through The Shining. Whatever it is, the story of Creel House looked like it was big news in the region, something that would definitely have caught the attention of our old friend Dr. Brenner. And in Season 1, we learned that the whole project that Dr. Brenner worked on, experimenting on people like Eleven and her mother, began in the 50s. Coincidence? We think not. So what do you think? What are your predictions for Stranger Things' latest season? Let us know in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed watching the video as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. See you next time. Goodbye.